Hi, good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. So I'm just going to be doing a little flow today. It's going to be kind of core centric. We'll do some upper body as well, and then your lower body is used all the time, so it will get a workout as well. But we're just going to spend a little bit of time on core to make sure that we're really getting all of it engaged. And let's see, what is this telling me? Okay. So I'm just gonna wait just a minute while I get my water and everything. And see if anybody's gonna join me live. I think that there might be a little bit of a lag here. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and head over to my mat, and I'm gonna start laying down, which is silly since I just put my hair up. So I shouldn't have done that, but I'm gonna start laying down on my mat. So just find your way over. I'm facing the left side of my mat. Nope, the right side of my mat. So my head's up at the left side. Just laying down, closing your eyes, moving around a little bit here. Just taking a moment to see how your body's feeling. Checking in with your breath, just seeing if you're finding it easy or if it's kind of erratic. If you're a little bit stressed, your breath might not be long and smooth. Noticing anywhere in your body that you might be holding some tension. See if you can just let that tension be released. Including in your face, in your jaw, forehead, letting your tongue relax. Maybe taking one long, deep inhale in through your nose. When you're ready, you can exhale out through the mouth. And then if you haven't already, just starting to take those slow, long inhales and exhales through the nose if it's comfortable. Try to fill up with as much air as you can. You should feel your back pressing into the ground, your sides growing, your chest expanding. When you're ready to exhale, see if you can pull the pelvic floor in, using those core muscles to press against your diaphragm and empty your lungs completely. Inhaling deeply, expanding, and exhaling, pulling in, starting to build some warmth through that core. See if each time that you exhale, you can maybe relax the shoulders a little bit more. Noticing where your thoughts are wandering. And then when it feels good, taking your hands one on top of the other at your heart center. Just taking a moment, setting an intention for your practice. So long or short-term goal, it doesn't have to be yoga related, just something to kind of focus your attention on. If it's a goal, just repeating it in your mind as if you were accomplishing it right now, kind of sending that manifestation into the universe. up through my right leg. Bring my left knee into the chest, giving it a hug. See if you can really lengthen out through that right side, pulling the knee in really tightly. Hopefully starting to feel a little bit of stretch through the front of your right hip flexor and through the left glute. You can squeeze your right glute to intensify the stretch. See if you can press out through the foot. When it feels good, extend that left leg out, right knee into the chest, doing the same thing as the other side. So squeezing in the glutes, pulling the knee in, try to extend out through the leg. And then when you're ready, we're just going to bring our head and shoulders up a little bit, start to pull in through your pelvic floor and core, and then we're going to just switch the legs, hovering the one that's long, squeezing in. Move your head around if it feels like you're putting too much tension in your neck. Long exhales. And then we're going to bring both knees in. Bring your head back down. Kind of rock your head side to side. Taking some long, slow breaths. And then we're going to bring the right leg down, left leg, hands onto the back of the left thigh. Lengthen up through the leg. And lower, just a few times, stretching through that hamstring. See if you can send your heel towards the ceiling. And then we're going to switch sides, bring that knee down, or that foot down, switching over to the right leg. Try to keep control of your breath. And then when it feels good, we're going to lengthen that leg up, bringing the left leg up to meet it. Hands behind your head if you like to. Try to put your head nice and heavy into your arms. Pull in through the belly. We're just going to start to lower the right leg and then bring it back up and switch to the other side. So if you feel like you don't have enough tension in your core, see if you can come a little bit higher, pull in through the belly, lowering down and lifting. And if you still need more, you can take the legs out to like a 45-degree angle to lift and lower. Which makes it way harder. One more each side. And knees into the chest. Rock around. That was tough. When it feels good, we're going to start to rock forward and back a little bit. Taking it a few times here. And then see if you can start bringing yourself into boat. Knees can be bent for it. Try to see if you can bring the chest forward, and then you can rock on back and back into boat. Squeeze the inner thighs towards each other, pressing into the toes. Legs can be bent or straight. Ooh. Couple more times like this. Maybe you want to bring your arms up, over your head. Ooh. Feeling the burn. Ooh. Last time here, rock it up, holding. And then just go ahead and cross at the ankles. I'm going to turn towards the screen, but you don't have to. We're going to lift the arms up over the head, lengthen nice and long. As you exhale, twist over towards your left. Your left hand's going to come behind you. See if you can widen your collarbones. Holding on to your knee with your hands. See if you can lean over towards the right. Inhale back up to center, lengthen up nice and long, and exhale over to the other side. Widening through the collarbones. Getting nice and long, holding on to the right knee with the left hand, so you can just lean. All the way back up, lengthen nice and tall. Hands are going to come back behind you, fingertips towards your hips, opening up the chest. Maybe moving around a little here. And then when you're ready, bringing yourself back up, and we're going to find our way over to all fours. So just starting out through some cat and cows. Really try to exaggerate that cow so that you're getting the stretch through the core, and then as you exhale, lifting the back up. Just going through a couple of times. And then coming through center, hips back to heels, take yourself into a child's pose, extending the arms nice and long. See if you can really press your chest down towards the ground. Maybe getting some clicks and pops. And then we're going to spread our fingertips really wide, and we're going to start to warm up in the shoulders. So spreading the fingertips wide, we're going to shift our way forward all the way into a kneeling plank, and then press yourself back. And just take that a couple of times. So shifting forward and back. Try to really focus on getting your hips in line with your shoulders so you're not drooping them down too far and you're not keeping them sticking up. You should feel that engagement in the core. And then the next time you're coming forward, holding here, we're going to lower down, see if you can press into your fingertips and lift back up. So if that's too much to do a tricep push-up in that kneeling plank, you can come so that your booty's sticking up a little bit, taking some of the weight out. And we're just going to take a couple more, getting super warm in those shoulders. Woo! You might be super strong and think like, oh, okay, this isn't that hard. I'm finding it very challenging today, all the way down to the ground. Take your hands back behind you. You can hold on to opposite hands, or maybe you can grab forearms. Just take a second here. Try to send the arms up towards the ceiling, or to send your elbows up. Bringing yourself so that your hands are next to your ribs. We're going to press back up to all fours. Inhale, left arm up, open through the chest. See if you kicked your hips out to the side like I did. Let's bring them back to center. As you exhale, thread the arm under. Head and shoulder are going to come down. Relaxing here. Try to close the shoulders down towards the ground so that you're stretching the outside of that shoulder. And then gently coming back to center, switching to the other side. So opening up with that left arm. If you've shifted your hips, try to bring them back to center. That's my right arm, actually, not my left arm. And then we're going to thread under, head and shoulder down. Extend your arm nice and long, holding here. See if you can close that left shoulder down. And then finding your way back through center. All fours, pull in through the belly. We're just going to move the hips here. So your upper back's going to stay the same. You're just going to tilt the tailbone up and then down. If you pull your low belly in really tight, you might get to feel a little bit of ab work here. Just trying to really slowly tilt the tailbone up towards the ceiling and then pull in through your core. One more time here. And then back to center, tuck your toes, slide the hips up and back, find your way to downward facing dog. Paddling out the legs, shifting around a little. Keep the knees bent as much as you need and try to hug those underarms towards your face. And then we're going to do similar to what we did on our knees. So we're going to bend the knees a little bit, press into your feet, roll yourself forward into your plank. Bend the knees again, slide the hips all the way back. Just moving through here, warming up through the whole body now. The more that you use those legs, the faster you'll feel a burn. So rather than just shifting forward and back with the arms, we're using the whole body by bending the knees. If you bend the elbows a little as you press back, you'll get more work in the arms. See if you can slow the breath. The next time that you press back, reaching up with the right leg, take it nice and high. Bending the knee pointed up towards the ceiling. See if you can open your hips. Try to keep your shoulders squared down. And then we're going to step that right foot all the way up. Back knee coming down. Inhale your way into a nice kneeling lunge. Whew. On your exhale, twist towards the right. Bring your elbow to your knee if it feels good. Holding here. Coming back to center, we're going to tuck our back toes. Press into your front heel. Lift yourself up. See if you can open into goddess. So because we haven't really done a hip opener yet, you might find this a little bit challenging to sink really low, but you can stay higher. Slow your breath down. Holding here, feeling that burn. And then we're going to close the right knee down to the floor, turn into that kneeling lunge. On the other side, see if you can sink in. Squeezing the hips towards each other. Arms reaching up. As you exhale, twist towards your left leg. Holding here. We'll come back to center, reaching nice and long. Exhale the hands down, planting flat. We're going to step back to a plank. Move your way through chaturanga. You can do it on your knees, upward facing dog or cobra. So if this feels really uncomfortable, keep those low ribs down, finding your way to cobra. And we'll come back to downward facing dog. Whew. Paddling the legs, shifting around a little here. You should be facing the left side of your mat now. Unless Instagram has flipped me on your screen and then I'm actually saying everything and it looks backwards to you and you have to turn around to face away from me, then just use the opposite leg that I say, I guess. I haven't figured out if it does that. When it feels good, we're going to lift up the left leg nice and tall, lengthening it long. Bend your knees so you can open your hips towards the ceiling. Square your shoulders down towards the ground. Maybe your right heel can sink a little further. And then we're going to step the foot all the way up. Back heel, or back knee is going to be off the ground. We're going to inhale, lengthen nice and tall. Hands down behind the back, clasping. Open your chest up. And then we're going to press into that front heel, shift your way forward, finding your way into warrior three. See if you can lengthen nice and long. My head's going to get cut off. That's okay. When it feels good, tap those back toes down, reach up with the chest, release your arms. We're going to sink down, finding that kneeling lunge. Exhale your hands down to the floor. Shift your weight, straightening your front leg. Try to squeeze the inner thighs towards each other. When it feels good, shifting yourself forward again. Tucking your back toes. Lift your arms up. Just like before, we're going to press into the front heel and open up into your goddess. Holding here. Maybe you can sink lower for this one. See if you can relax the shoulders. Long, smooth inhales and exhales. And then we're going to close that left knee down. Holding here, a long, deep breath. Hands down to the floor. Shift your weight. Find your way to your half split on the other side. Slow the breath back down. When it feels good, we're going to shift our weight, tuck your back toes, reach the arms up, finding your way into that nice crescent lunge. Squeeze the inner thighs towards each other. Hands down behind your back, clasping. Open up the chest. And then we'll shift ourselves forward into your warrior three. So putting the weight into your front leg, lengthening out. Arms can release if you need them to. Should have moved my camera further back. Long breaths here. On your exhale, tap those toes back down. Reach the arms tall. Long, deep inhale. As you exhale, hands down to the floor, stepping to plank. Chaturanga, whichever version you prefer. On the knees or full. Upward facing dog or cobra. If you're in upward facing dog, see if you can roll the shoulders back. And we'll press all the way back into down dog, holding here. If it feels good for you, or if you need to, you can come down, take a child's pose. If you need a sip of water, this is a good time, because I need one. All right, so we're gonna do one more full standing sequence, probably to the left side and back to the right side. And then we're gonna do some balancing, and then we'll come down onto the floor. So when it feels good for you, tucking the toes, send your hips back and up, finding your way back to downward facing dog. Closing off through those armpits, trying to square, or not square, but suck them in towards your ears. When it feels good, we're gonna reach up with the right leg, nice and tall. As you exhale, you're going to bring your knee across to the opposite elbow and then back up. If it is okay for you, bend everything a little as you come in and then straighten as you bring your knee towards the elbow and then bend as you go back up to straighten into down dog. So that transition is bending, getting a little bit more heat in the body, exhaling to bring the knee, inhaling to reach. This next time that you bring your knee forward, hold it there. See if you can kick the foot out. Back foot's gonna flatten. Maybe you can come into like a lifted fallen triangle. Maybe you need your foot down. We're gonna sit our hips down. So finding your way down. You're facing like the left corner of your mat. Take a few breaths here. Situate through your sitting bones. And then just start to move side to side a little. Stretching those hamstrings. Don't worry about reaching your foot. So if you find that you're rounding here, try to stay nice and long. feels good, we're gonna start to make this a little bit more, a little bit bigger. So shifting the arms, whatever arm's in the back is going to tap down. And then the next time that you have your left hand to your right foot and your right hand behind you, we're gonna press and squeeze those hips up. Lower back down, and again, lift and lower, and lift and lower. One more, lifting here. See if you can bring the hand down. Ooh, adjust yourself, even if it's not very graceful, and that right leg's gonna come all the way back up. Squeeze it high, and step it forward, finding warrior two. So back foot's gonna come flat, chest and shoulders towards the long edge. Take a moment, bend your back leg. Get really strong through the feet, and then press that back leg straight, arms reaching. Holding here. Steady your breath. Arms are going to stay out to the sides. If you need a little bit of a challenge, bring them to like a 45-degree angle. Holding. We're going to lift our right heel off the ground and lower. Make sure you're squeezing in your glutes. Don't forget to breathe. Bringing that heel back down, see if you can lift the toes. Ooh, that burns. Notice what's going on with your arms, if they're starting to shift forward or down. Inhale that front leg straight, turning yourself to the long edge of your mat, hands down behind you, clasping, open the chest up, maybe pressing the hips forward with the knuckles. And then we're going to bend our knees a little, slide back the sitting bones as you come forward to straighten your legs or come near straight. Arms up over your head, or you can tuck the knuckles into your low back. Just move around here a little. On your exhale, release the hands down. We're going to come up halfway. So we're going to move over to the left side to do something different, and then we'll start from the beginning, left, and then go over to the right. So you're going to sink down into your hips, finding like a weird low goddess squat. And then we're going to sink over to one side. Your heel can come off the ground if you need it to. See if you can get your chest up, toes pointing towards the ceiling. On your right leg, I like to bring my hands down behind me, like underneath my booty, so I can sink down that heel. You can take the hands off the ground if it feels good. And then we're going to try kind of a tricky transition into half moon. So I'm going to just move over a little so that my foot is still in. So your left hand's going to come out towards the outside of your left foot, and we're going to try to just lift everything up into half moon. I'm going to use both hands because I'm not sure how this is going to turn out, but you can lift, there we go, all the way up into your half moon. You should be pointing towards the corner of your mat. Squeeze that top leg back, opening up the chest. Maybe you can look up. I'm kind of cheating here because my foot's on my wall, but that's okay. On your exhale, take the top hand down. Back toes are going to tap. Find your way into a plank. Hold it. Squeeze the glutes. See if you can relax the chest forward a little. Belly pulling in. Nice and strong here. And then we'll lower down through chaturanga. Inhaling the chest up. Exhale, pressing yourself back, find downward facing dog. So if you were just watching and not doing, and you saw that chaturanga just now, don't judge me for it. My face was going to hit my couch. I know I didn't do it very pretty. So from here, just like before, we're going to start by lifting left leg up, nice and high, squeezing it up, and then we're gonna bring the knee across to the right arm. So bending everything a little, shift it forward, straightening the arms and leg out, and then all the way back up. Getting that cross ab action, using the arms to press yourself forward and back. I didn't count on the other side, so we'll just do a couple more. This time as you bring the leg forward, kick it out. Maybe you can keep it lifted, taking that top arm up, flattening down on that back leg, and then bringing the foot down. Sit down the booty, adjust the flesh, and just start to sort of shift side to side, breathing here. Hopefully your heart's pumping too. When it feels good, you can start to make the movement a little bit bigger. So sweeping the arms, even if you can't reach your foot. So you can be up here. Just getting that rotation through the trunk. The next time you have your right hand over at your left foot, you're going to plant your left hand down, and we're going to sweep our way up, squeezing the hips up and back down. And again. And down. And again. And down. Last time here, reaching up, and then we're going to take that right hand down. Maybe you can gracefully move through this, maybe not. We're going to bring the leg all the way up and step it forward, finding your way to warrior two. Back foot's flat. Get nice and comfortable here. So bend the back leg a little bit. Find that strength in both legs. Notice what's going on in your booty. Try to squeeze everything in and then lengthen out. Just like on the other side. Arms can be relaxed so you can reach them up into this like brutal 45-degree angle. If you have them forward, see if you can bring them all the way out to the sides. And then we're going to lift our front heel. So 8 times. Notice what's happening with your leg. Try to keep your glutes squeezing. Feeling the burn a little faster on this side. 2 more. And then coming back here, toes up. 2, 3, it burns. 4, squeeze the glute. Last time here, holy moly, lengthen up. Woo! Hands down behind you, clasping. Press your fists into your low back, squeeze the hips forward, opening. And as you exhale, bend the knees, slide the hips back, sinking your way forward into your forward fold. Move around a little here. On your next exhale, we're going to release our arms down, turning your right toes to the right corner. Nope, that's not what we're going to do first. First, we're going to sink down into that like squatted, it's a goddess pose, just with my hands on the ground. You can move around a little here. Maybe Banshee, that sounds like a fun name for this. It probably has a name. When you go over to your right side, your heel can come off the ground, toes of your left foot are going to come off the ground. Lengthen yourself out nice and long. Just like before, maybe walking your hands back so you can try to get your heel down. Just sinking a little deeper. You can take your hands up off the ground if it feels more comfortable for you. And then we're gonna try to find that half moon just like we did on the other side. So right hand's gonna come to the outside of the right foot. You can use both hands to start. We're just gonna press into your right foot and lift that back leg up and back. Finding your half moon pose. Half my body's cut off. You know what you're doing. See if you can open the chest a little. And then we'll take our top arm down, back foot down, step your way into a plank. We're gonna hold our plank. Try to relax the shoulders forward. If it feels good, left hand to center. Let's roll out to the left side of the outside of the left foot, finding your side plank. Back through center. Taking the hand down, right hand opening out to the side. Bottom knee can come down if you need a little break. And then close it up, hips up and back. Find your way to downward facing. Wiggle around a little. Let's see what time it is. All right. When it feels good, looking forward, you're gonna step your right foot up. Just walk your hands along the side of the mat, hands on the hips, and we'll come all the way up to standing. We're gonna do just a little balancing, and then we'll come to seated. So when it feels good, we're gonna start on the right leg. Take a moment, spread your toes out, get everything really strong through that leg. Squeeze through the glutes, start to press the weight there, and we're gonna lift up that left leg and cross the ankle across the thigh. So starting here, hands at your heart, you can stay just standing like this. If it feels okay, maybe you can sink your way down into like a one-leg chair. And then if you like and you want more of a challenge, you can come partway up and down. So like you're taking a little half squats here on this one leg. When it feels good, coming all the way back up, knee is going to come right out in front of you. Rotate your ankle a few times. Taking the hand onto the knee, or maybe you can grab your big toe and straighten the leg. We'll find our way into, nope, mine doesn't want to be straight today. Hand to big toe pose, or modified with the knee. Squeeze the glute on your standing leg. See if you can kind of shift your hips so they're even. Maybe you can look over to the right. And then bring your left foot down, sink your way into a crouch. Holding here. Lift up on the toes, nice and long. Try to keep the weight even through the feet. And then we'll come all the way back up. Switch to the other side. So widening out the feet, pressing the weight into the left foot, start to squeeze the glute. Getting everything nice and strong for that standing leg. And then we're gonna bring up the right leg. Rotate your ankle a couple of times. And then place the ankle across the opposite knee. So just like before, you can stay here. You can hold on to something, do what you need to do, just make it so it's a little bit of a challenge for you. If it feels good, you can sink down, finding that one leg chair, nice deep stretch on the outside of the glute. And just like before, I'm gonna talk through it before I look at myself in the camera and then fall. You can do that lift and lower, so you can come halfway up and back down. So really focus on what's going on in that standing leg. I have my left glute weaker than my right glute, and my knee tends to go in as I squat because of it. So I really got to focus on getting that glute to activate so that it doesn't let my knee drop in, and then my IT band will hurt. The next time you're coming up, we'll bring that knee in. Whew, you can rotate again through the ankle. Get nice and strong through the standing leg, squeezing the glute. Just like before, hand can be on the knee to open. Ooh, I'm gonna lose my balance. Or you can see if your body's feeling the straight leg today. There we go, I can do this side. See if you can let the shoulders, relax. Pressing into the toes, into the hand with the toes. Squeezing the standing leg. And then we'll come back, foot down, sink into your crouch. Whew. Holding here. You made it. You made it through all the hard stuff. You can stay right here in this crouch if it feels good. Maybe walk your feet out and find your way into a malasana, moving around when you get there if you like, or you can hold in center. And then when it feels good for you, we're just going to take our hands down. Turn yourself to the right side of your mat. Top of the feet are on the ground, sitting on the heels. Release your shoulders back. And if it feels okay, you can take your hands down if you need to. You can lean forward. We're just going to pedal the knees out. So some people really love this stretch and like to lean back and lift both knees. I'm going to not do that, but you are welcome to. I'm just going to pedal one at a time. If you have a block, you can stick it under your knees and just hold them up. And then when you're ready for it, we're just going to cross at the ankles. Find your way over to seated, soles of the feet together. And I'll turn towards you. You can turn towards me if you like. See if you can lengthen up really long, letting those knees drop out. Maybe moving around a little. Noticing where your mind is wandering now that we've slowed down the breath. If you find that you're thinking about something really silly, like what you're going to eat after this, or that you need to sweep the floor of your living room, maybe just try to bring your mind back to your breath or back to that intention. When it feels good, both legs straight out in front of you. Let's move the flesh away from our sitting bones. Lengthen nice and long through the spine, taking the hands wherever you can reach without putting a lot of effort in. And then just bend your elbows to kind of hinge yourself forward. So you don't want to round through the back. Maybe moving around in the head, releasing any tension in the neck. And then when it feels good, coming back up. Nice and long through the spine, hands down by the sides. You're going to try to press your hands into the ground, so it's like you're trying to lengthen your shoulders down as much as possible while lifting your spine as high as possible. Pull your toes back, pull your core in, finding your way here. See if you can kind of reach those shoulders back and down, and then if it feels good, chin to chest. On your next inhale, lifting yourself up. If you turn to face the camera, go ahead and, or not the camera, you're not watching it, you're not doing a camera. If you turn to face your screen, you can turn yourself back. We're just gonna take a moment here, knees pulled in, just making kind of cat and cow shapes, stretching out that upper back. And then we're gonna do one more difficult thing before we lay down. So hands down by the sides. We're gonna lift our hips up, finding your way into that like reverse table, and then if it feels okay, we're gonna try to slide the hips back. See if you can lift them off the ground and forward. So bend a little bit as you start to come back, and then straighten out. If you have the strength for it, you can lift your legs. I'm very impressed. Go ahead and do that. Maybe you can lift one leg. Even that's really hard. We'll do two more. Woo. One side clearly stronger than the other. Woo. Coming down here, give yourself a hug. Knees in, or head in towards the knees. And then we'll roll on back onto the floor, rock around. Try to slow down your breath. Maybe make some big circles with the knees. Hopefully you feel like that was a good amount of core and arms. I feel like I did more legs than I was intending to do, but that's okay. When it feels good, coming back to center. If you'd like, you can take your right knee, crossing it over the left knee. So they're stacked, and then grab opposite like shins or ankles, try to pull them in towards you. Slowing your breath down. Keeping your legs crossed if you like, or you can uncross them. We're going to bring the arms out to the sides and then just let the knees drop to the left. When you get there, see if you can take your top hip and kind of shift it away from your ribs so you're lengthening down the side. Try to get both shoulders pressing down, belly's pulling in as you exhale. Coming back to center when you're ready. Legs up towards the ceiling, arms up, just kind of kick and claw. Getting everything kind of loosened out, maybe moving around the legs in circles. Ooh. And then we're going to take left knee over the right knee, moving everything to the other side. Noticing if this side feels more or less intense, or maybe it's exactly the same. You can even move through your ankles if you like. And then keeping the legs like they are. And release the feet, arms out to the sides. Letting the legs drop over towards the right. Again, you don't have to keep them crossed. And if you can lengthen that top hip away from you a little, pull in through the belly. Nice yummy twist. On your next exhale, unwinding back to center, kicking and clawing, maybe making some weird circles. Just do whatever feels good here. Making a fool of yourself live to the world. Not you, but me. And when it feels good, feet down onto the ground. We're just going to lift the middle of your ribs. So your hips are going to stay on the ground. Your upper back's going to stay on the ground. You just have this middle part of your back lifting where a little mouse could run through, as Brigitte would say. And then we'll press the back down, pull the belly in, and lift again. Just a couple of times. And then when it feels good, just go ahead and lengthen out through the legs. Maybe take a long breath in, reaching the arms up over the head. And then we're going to take one hand onto the belly, one hand onto the chest. And for our Shavasana, if you want to, we're just going to focus on long, deep breaths. Filling up the belly first, and then the chest. You can feel both hands rising, exhaling from the belly. And then the chest. Maybe repeating your intention in your mind, sending it out to the universe. If you'd like to take a really long Shavasana or longer than the minute that we just did, you can stay here. If it feels good for you, you can start to move through your head, move through your feet and fingers. I know it wasn't a very long Shavasana, but the camera will cut off if I go over an hour, I believe. So I just want to make sure I close out everything. When it feels good, you can reach your arms over your head, taking a long, deep breath in. As you exhale, just pulling the knees in. Maybe rock around a little. And then just let the knees drop over to one side, pausing here, just seeing how you're feeling, how your breath is feeling. Maybe you can be a little longer and slower and more relaxed than the start of our practice, and definitely more relaxed than the middle of our practice. And when it feels good, you can gently start to press yourself up, finding your way to seated. Get a nice comfortable position here, hands on the knees if you'd like. See if you can roll the shoulders back, lengthen long through the spine. We're just going to take a moment to sit in stillness in our bodies. If there's a pranayama you like to practice, you can do that now. On your next inhale, lifting the arms up over your head, lengthen out really long. Take your hands down to your heart center, taking a moment to give gratitude to your body. Maybe touching back with that intention, reminding yourself to bring it with you through your day. May the light with me reach out and touch the light within all of you. Thank you so much for joining me. If you did live, maybe you joined me on playback. It felt really nice. Yeah, so I will see you all another time. Have a great day.